If you are currently practicing a 16-8 intermittent fasting window and you're frustrated because you're gaining weight, this video is for you. Now, some people get really frustrated because they'll watch a video about how to do a 16-8 and they'll start practicing this window, which is simply, 16 hours of fasting and then 8 hours of an eating window. And then they just start the process over. And they will watch a video that says, this is what you do in order to lose weight. And they'll start practicing that. And then they start gaining weight and they wonder why. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to assume that you've been practicing a 16-8 for at least 6 weeks consistently. And we're going to assume also that you actually have weight to lose. So you are, either overweight or obese based on BMI and, your waist measurements and things like that. The reason 6 weeks is important is because, especially for women, our weight fluctuates with our monthly cycle. And so in order to really tell that you're either gaining or losing or staying the same, it's important to be tracking your weight daily and averaging those numbers out. But after 6 weeks of time, you should be able to see a definite pattern, either stagnation or weight gain or weight loss. So let's say that you have seen that there is a definite trend upwards, that your weight is just going up, and you may be really frustrated by this. And that's totally understandable because the thing is, some people can just practice a 16-8. They go from doing what they were doing, they start doing a 16-8, and they just start losing weight, and it seems really easy for them. And this is where a big misconception about intermittent fasting comes in, and that is people think as long as you're obeying the window, weight loss will naturally occur. And unfortunately, this simply isn't true. The fact of the matter is, calories still count, although you don't have to count calories in order to lose weight. I did a whole podcast episode about intermittent fasting and counting calories, and I'll link to that above if you're interested. You can easily eat way too many calories during an 8-hour eating window. Now, this is one of the major drawbacks of an 8-hour eating window because you may not really change your eating habits. This is especially true if you do things like emotionally eat from time to time. So if you find that you're gaining weight, you basically have two different options available to you. And which one you pick and which one will actually work will depend largely on your life and your own preferences. Now, the thing that most people do is they'll just make their fasting window longer. They'll move up to maybe like an 18-6 or a 24, and they find that once they make their eating window smaller like that, they can more easily eat the right amount of food and the scale starts moving down. And as long as that works for your life, that's a perfectly acceptable option. But a lot of people just want to stick with a 16-8, which is totally understandable because it can fit so well into your life. It can work really well with your family's eating habits and your own eating habits and maybe your social life. So if that's you, you still have lots of options available to you to get the scale moving down. Now, I personally don't limit any kind of foods. I'm not low carb. I like to just eat all the foods. So I'm not going to recommend to you that you start restricting certain food types or food groups. Instead, what it basically comes down to is you need to learn how to eat less food. One thing that can really help is to just simply cut out snacks and instead think in terms of meals. The reason for this is that snacks can easily just add up over, the course of your day, and you can be eating just a lot of calories that you don't really realize that you're eating. Another thing that can help you is to cut out all distracted eating. So in other words, when you are eating, that's the only task that you're doing. You're not working, you're not reading, you turn off all screens around you, don't have your phone out, don't have your TV on, don't have the radio on, just focus on the food. Another thing you can do is keep yourself busy during the eating window, filling up your life with things other than food. You can do things like work or do a hobby or, volunteer your time for a charitable cause. The busier you are, the less you'll think about food. And lastly, and probably most importantly, you need to learn how to figure out when you've had enough to eat. And this is a process of learning to read the signals that your body is giving you that tells you that you're full. And what I have found is that usually this means stopping as soon as you feel full, maybe just slightly before, because it takes your brain a while to communicate with your stomach to let you know that you've had enough food. So you can know this, as you're eating, but also paying attention to how you feel after the meal and how you feel during your fasting window the next day. What you want to do is you want to feel good and full so that, you do feel satisfied. It makes, the fasting window a lot easier when you feel good and full. But also you do want to, by the end of your fasting window, window feel hungry, because that means that your body has burned through all those calories that you ate and it is tapping into your fat stores. And that's what you need to do in order to lose weight. So as you implement those things, just keep watching the scale. Keep weighing yourself consistently. I like daily weighing and then keeping track of your 7-day average and watching how that is trending over time. And the scale will let you know, are the things that you're doing, is that enough to help you lose weight, or do you need to continue to dial your eating in? Ultimately, if you keep at it and keep modifying your eating until you get to that point where the scale is moving down and you're feeling really good, you'll lose weight and you'll eventually hit your goal weight. So I hope this video has helped you. If right now you are practicing a 16-8 and you just aren't having the results that you're looking for, hopefully this will get the scale moving for you. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. I want to take a moment to thank all the insiders who have joined this channel. Insiders get access to my vlog, and in my vlog I talk about how I'm implementing intermittent fasting in my own life in maintenance. I also talk about experiments I'm running, and I give behind the scenes looks at this channel. Insiders also get shout outs and access to a weekly members only live. If you'd like to become an insider, just click the join button below. Thanks.